The 66 Caprice was the first year of the two-door Caprice. This was Chevrolet's attempt at creating a luxury coupe to compete with Cadillac and some of the upper brands, Oldsmobile, Buick. One of the big selling points that they were having was what they called a limousine roof line. And you can see the difference in this and the Impala. 66 was the year that they did away with the triple tail lights, which personally I like the triple tail lights better, but it does look good the way they did it. The Caprice come with the chrome strips across the taillights. The taillights lenses are actually different from the Impala to the Caprice. But you can see the Caprice also had these vents beneath the back window. This particular 66 Caprice, I believe, came with a vinyl top. The cowl plate does not say that it came with a vinyl top, but it also doesn't say it was a two-tone car, so I'm basing my opinion on just the fact that it has these chrome strips on here. I believe those only came on vinyl top cars. So you can also see it has the trim for the, that was used, I believe, on the vinyl top and the two-tone paint cars. This car came from the factory, the same color as my 65 Impala. It's paint code in Madeira Maroon. I think it's a very good color on this car too, and I think the car looks good with the painted top. This car also had the optional front bumper guards. Now this car is missing some of the trim. My brother got this car about 1.5 years ago, and he's still working on it. He's got a lot of things he's wanting to improve on it. He's replacing emblems and the wheel well trim, the trim that goes underneath the doors. But overall, it's a very nice car. Something else that differs from the Impala to the Caprice is the trim that goes around on the trunk lid. It goes around here. On the Impala, it goes all the way up to the front. On the Caprice, it comes down right here. And I also believe there's two different styles that came on the Caprice. This is the style that was on my brother's car, and there's another piece of trim on his parts car that went down through here. And that's what everybody wants. Everybody likes this piece that goes down through here. But his car didn't have it, and as you can see, it's got the little piece there. It looks factory to me, that holds that piece of trim on. The screw may not be factory, but the trim definitely looks like it was made for that purpose. So what is it that makes a Caprice different than an Impala? The roof line is one big difference as far as appearance. The body itself was very similar. The whole front clip's the same, the frame's the same. But the roof really set it apart. On the interior, there was a lot of differences in the Caprice and the Impala. One big difference is it had different door panels with the wood grain trim around the door panel. Also on this car, it has like a satin material that was here, and that's the same material that would have been on the seats from the factory. On this particular car, it has vinyl on the back door panels. It has the wood trim, but it doesn't have the satin material. And I don't know if these panels are not original to the car, or if that's something that Chevrolet just did. But this car, that's the way it came. The seats in this car have been reupholstered, and they did not reupholster it with the original Caprice material. This is a different material. It would have had the satin material with the buttons. They did put the buttons, but they didn't put the same material. My brother has ordered new upholstery for the seats. We're going to be doing a major project on this car soon, where we replace the front bench seat with buckets. He bought a parts car specifically for that purpose. So, as you can see, on the Caprice emblem is here. On the console that's in the parts car has a Caprice emblem on it. Where the Impala came with brushed aluminum trim here, and just would have had a painted glove compartment door. So this car has the wood grain trim, and this is a factory air conditioning car. And as you can see, it's got the vents already made into the dash. And on the factory air cars, they had 2 ashtrays. So another thing that's very unusual about this car, in my opinion, this car is a Caprice, and it's a factory 3-speed on the column. This is your base transmission that Chevrolet offered in '66. To me, I can't imagine why you'd try to buy a luxury car, Chevrolet's most luxurious car, and then you get the most basic transmission in it. I would have thought most of them would have came with automatics, and you're a more high performance, maybe with the 4-speed. But this is a 3-speed on the column car. You can also see that the steering wheel ring has wood grain in it and the Caprice emblem in the middle. So other than that, it looks pretty much the same. I don't know if you saw my other videos with the 65 Impala dash. This one has a completely different dash. 66 has a different dash, where they just, instead of having the 2 round gauges on each side with the speedometer in the middle, it has this rectangular shaped instrument cluster. Now what we will be doing on this car when we get to that point is we're going to change this car over to an automatic. My brother doesn't want the 3-speed on the column anymore, and he wants to have the automatic. It'll be a console car with bucket seats, brand new upholstery. It's going to be a really nice upgrade. Kind of hate to see the 3-speed on the column go away, only because I think it's pretty uncommon for this car. But I also know you got to make the car the way he wants it so he can drive it and enjoy it. So this car still has the factory radio in it. A lot of these cars are butchered around the radio area because people put modern stereos in there and they cut the dashes. This one's not been cut. So you can also see the controls for the air conditioning. It's different than the cars with just heaters. Fan switch is over here, where on the cars with just the heaters, the fan switch would be on the top. So this one has AC and cold and heater, hot. It's just a different controller. And all your air conditioning cars in 65 and 66 had the ball vents on the sides and one in the middle here for the AC. So the AC came out those vents. This car is also manual windows, which I think was standard in all the Caprices too. You had to pay for an upgrade if you wanted power windows. On the exterior of the car, you had the Caprice emblems on the front fenders, and you also had the Caprice emblem, the symbol, on the back sail panel on the exterior. Then on the very back, you had Caprice by Chevrolet. On this particular car, he's got modern rally wheels. The originally it would have had hubcaps, which in my opinion are pretty ugly hubcaps. This car was factory 327, 3-speed on the column. It has a different engine in it now, and the engine that it has in it, we're not exactly sure 100% of what it is, but it's a more modern engine. We're gonna run the numbers and see. So I thought I'd do a little comparison with the 65 and 66. Of course, it's a Caprice and an Impala, so they're not exactly the same anyway. But you see a big difference is the taillights. It's easy to notice the taillights, but actually the whole rear clip is different. You see the rear lights on the Caprice are all the way down on the bumper, where the Impala 65 lights are up above the bumper where you have the Super Sport trim, and the non-Super Sports had a silver trim there. But you can really see a good comparison between the roof lines of the Caprice and the Impala. And they didn't make they did not make a Caprice in 65 that was a 2-door. They made a 4-door. But the roof line on these coupes are very noticeable. On the side by side, you can see the Impala has a real sleek fastback type roof, and the Caprice has the more formal roof. Like I said, they were going for more luxury look with it. On the front end, the Impalas, or the 65 and the 66, have different fenders, different header panel, different grille. A lot of people think that they look the same in the front, but they're very different. See, the body line on the 65 goes all the way down around to the front, where on the 66 it swoops down toward the bumper. But they are similar. With a nice front view of the two, you can kind of see the difference of them. They're both nice looking cars, both of them. Full-size Chevys sold over 1 million cars in 65 and 66, which is the 65 was a record. 66 was pretty close behind. But I thought everybody might enjoy seeing them side by side just to kind of get a view of them. So under the hood, it has the factory small block. All the factory air conditioned stuff is there. I mean, I say the factory small block. It has all the factory brackets and everything that came on the car. It's got the fan shroud because it was an air conditioning car. And this has been upgraded to disc brakes on the front, so it has a dual master cylinder. I just thought it'd be interesting for people to see this car, especially since we're going to do some upgrades to it. It'll be good to see the before. The interior of the car looks pretty nice as it is, but it's going to look a lot better. It's going to be vinyl bucket seats. I've only found one manufacturer that makes the upholstery for the Caprice, so it's going to be vinyl bucket seats, and it's got like a lot of buttons and tufts in the vinyl. It looks really good. The original style seats are very nice looking. But anyway, it'd be really nice to see how it comes out. Right now this car has a mother thumper cam in it. It makes it a little difficult to drive with the 3-speed on the column. It lunges quite a bit. We're gonna leave the cam in it, but we're gonna put a torque converter that has a stall in it to account for it. So now we're gonna go for a ride with it, with my brother in his car. I don't know, a lot of people may not have seen the 3-speed on the column. This will be interesting to see. sounds really good with that cam.